Nowadays, there are many natural disasters worldwide, such as earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, floods, wildfires, tsunamis, melting polar ice. The problem mentioned above are caused by human action that cause global warming, thus causing the problem mentioned before the followed. An example of the impact, and close to everyone, is the problem of a growing city. The problem of growing cities is one of mankind's most important environmental problems. Indeed, humans have lived a life that has been associated with water for thousands of years. We tend to set up cities around water bodies for agricultural, fishery, living, transport, and commercial use, resulting in seaside city and island across the world with multicultural landscapes such as Jakarta, Amsterdam, Lagos, Venice, Fiji, Alexandria, Kiribati, Ho Chi Minh City, Bangkok, French Polynesia, Charleston, Miami, New Orleans, Solomon Island, Dhaka, Maldives, Houston, Tuvalu, Rotterdam, and others by 2050. If we don't start addressing the risk of drawing city or of the city mentioned above, could be permanently submerged into the sea due to two main reasons: climate change from global warming and the expansion of the population. More than 1.2 billion people will be displaced by disaster and weather events, with an average of 20 million per year, with estimated by the Australian think tank.
The primary reasons for this is pollution and environmental degradation, resulting in the melting of polar ice caps, causing sea levels to rise. According to the US Global Change Research Program, by 2000, global sea levels are likely to rise 30 to 130 centimeters. Not only that, but natural disasters are also likely to become more severe, such as storm, flood, and tsunami. The most obvious example is Jakarta and Bangkok, which are sinking at a rate of 2 to 3 centimeters each year. There is a problem of flooding that cannot be drained due to the sea level rise every year. In low-lying coastal communities in the south of Bangkok, such as Bang Khun Thien, who must relocate more and more because 5 square kilometers of coastline has been eroded by sea in just 40 years. Greenpeace said that coastal cities across Asia are facing a greater flood risk due to the rising sea levels and more tropical storms, in which rainfall is more extreme than in the past. That may cause flooding above sea levels. The problem of drowning cities can certainly occur, and most importantly, the capital in some country in Asia will be drowned as well.
A secondary reason is that in human history, human settlements are in coastal lowlands. These areas are particularly vulnerable to climate-related hazards, but also have been preferred areas for human settlement since ancient times. Soil fertility, availability of fresh water from rivers, fishing, lifestyle benefits, waterborne transportation and trade, accessibility due to flat topographical relief, and sea and waterway allowing for trade routes, have long made coastal plains valuable agricultural and economic resources. Throughout history, these areas have continued to develop, and today are some of the most densely populated regions in the world. Nowadays, due to a goal of population causing urbanization, the more troubling fact is that much of this growth is taking place along the coast, and 40% of the population of the world live within 100 kilometers of the coast, putting immense pressure on the coastal ecosystem. Vulnerable to sea level rise and other coastal hazards. Rapid increases in population growth challenge the carrying capacity of these urban environments, often leading to mismanagement of natural resources. For sinking cities, the most common result has been over-extraction of groundwater, ultimately result in land subsidence and waterlogging and not draining.
Many countermeasures proposed by many governments. In the article in the Financial Times, Bangkok has no plan to move the capital anywhere. In the past and the present, the estuary area of Thailand is the area of Blankish mangrove forest. There have been discussions about building a natural green belt shield or constructing a retaining wall along the coast or constructing a sluice along the 88 km long Gulf of Thailand, as well as the other type of structures such as the sluice and dam, but so far have been successful. This is difficult due to the growing demand for real estate, but the risk of drawing in this area is also high. Looking across the world, the city of Boston has put in place a policy for the climate action plan. Require the new building to the indoor use the conditions, including the flood resistant buildings, the applied to the entire buildings, the water, the electricity, and air or HVAC, the HVAC air system. In the addition for old buildings such as the detached house, townhouse, shop house. There have been studies to find out how those buildings will have the option to retrofit the structure and pass so the building can be in the harmony with the water condition can fall. However, this issue is still being studied carefully and has no the concrete result, so we must find the other solution.
There is another solution to recurring floods and crowded cities that are overpopulated with thousands of people. One fact is that we cannot go against nature, and it is necessary to relocate cities in response to the threat. One of the first countries to officially announce relocation was Indonesia, set to relocate 14% of the 11 million residents of Jakarta on the island of Java to the new capital on Borneo Island, called Nusantara, which costs 32 billion United States dollars. There are many cities like Australia, Canberra, and Brazil capital Brasilia that show relocating major population is possible and achievable. On the other hand, this major structure change is inevitable, and it is costly and provide many vulnerability to illegal activities such as environmental destruction in fertile areas instead of focusing on the cause of the problem like climate change, overpopulation, and poor infrastructure before it is too late.
To summarize the report statement, city drawing is the result of pollution, environment degradation, and human settlement are in coastal land. So people have to take this issue seriously. City drawing is not just a typical flood trouble that can be resolved in a short period, because the main cause of landlessness is come from city drawing, which will impact on future generations who will have to live after us. People can relocate to a new city, but consider the fact that this was an unavoidable and costly necessity. This is not too late to implement those solutions and measures such as water barrier construction, building damaged tunnels, walls, dams, which would benefit the city, and coming generations will have accommodation to stay. Furthermore, we must not disregard the root cause of the problem, which is emission and environmental destruction, as it hastens the city's dying. This is something we should keep an eye on and disseminate this message to public in order to change behavior that contribute to pollution and tackle environmental damage, which result the global warming, melting ice, rising sea level, and flooding the city. And if everyone works together, people will still have a chance to protect the land for future generations. Margaret Mead, American cultural anthropologist, suggests that never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed cities can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Lastly, the future will be made by the present. Thank you.